Good evening, I'm Taylor Thomas with a CTV News update. The big day is tomorrow. After months of campaigning, voters across the nation will head to the polls for the November general election. They'll choose a new Congress and several new governors in Maryland. The gubernatorial race is between Democrat Wes Moore and Republican Dan Cox. Locally, Prince George's will select new council members and state delegates. County election officials say they're ready for the general election, but they're asking voters to come prepared.
One of the major things that voters need to know is that there is a 4-page ballot. There's 15 questions, ballot questions on the ballot, and I'm encouraging the voters to prepare in advance. Look at the questions in advance, because if not, it may extend the process, as we do anticipate that it could take voters a little bit more time to vote because of those questions.
Officials are expecting a big turnout of in-person voters. Alexander says if you have a problem at a polling site, you should not leave. She says first speak to the on-site election judge and then contact the County Board of Elections at 301-341-7300. Remember, with your ID, you can register and vote on Election Day in the state of Maryland. Well, President Biden is making a final push for Democratic candidates ahead of Tuesday's general election. The president will be joining gubernatorial candidate Wes Moore for a rally at Bowie State University this evening. Last night, Biden spoke at Sarah Lawrence College in Bronxville, New York, saying democracy is on the ballot.
There are more than 300 Republican candidates for state, local, and federal office who are election deniers. These deniers not only are trying to deny your right to vote, they're trying to deny your right to have your vote counted. No, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. With these election deniers, there are only two outcomes for any election. Either they win or they were cheated. No, I'm serious. Think about it. But let me tell you something. You can't only love the country when you win.
Meantime, Republicans in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania have filed lawsuits to disqualify thousands of mail-in ballots. In all, 120 cases surrounding voting have been filed, with more than half seeking to restrict access to the ballot. A teen accused of shooting and nearly killing a classmate inside of a Montgomery County high school bathroom plans to plead guilty. Stephen Alston Jr., who turned 18 in August, is set to enter the plea for attempted first-degree murder this afternoon. Alston is accused of building a ghost gun, which he used to shoot and critically injure a 15-year-old student on January 21st. Montgomery County prosecutors are expecting to ask that he be sentenced to between 15 and 25 years. The U.S. Supreme Court is scheduled to consider a nursing home case tomorrow that could determine a Medicaid patient's right to sue the government. The Indiana case centers around a lawsuit filed against the agency that managed an elderly man's care before he died. The public health agency being sued took the case to the nation's highest court, asking if patients who use government funding programs have the right to sue at all, a question long settled by precedents for decades. A ruling against the Televi family could strip millions of vulnerable Americans of the ability to hold states accountable when they don't receive benefits allowed by law. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Coming up, we're back at the Garden at Largo High School. Byron Scott explains right after the break. Stay with us. Good evening and welcome back. This Veterans Day, the Prince George's County Department of Parks will host a rededication ceremony for the Peace Cross Memorial in Bladensburg. Peace Cross honors 49 Prince George's veterans who gave their lives in service during World War I. The ceremony takes place this Friday from 11 a.m. until noon. Sections of Bladensburg Road and Baltimore Avenue will be closed for the event. All right, well, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The Maryland Department of Health has confirmed 872 new cases. The positivity rate in Prince George's is at 9.27%. One Marylander has died of COVID over the past 24 hours, and 414 are hospitalized. A special group of students at a Prince George's County high school is learning how to grow their own food. But with the growing season over, for the most part anyway, they're preparing now their gardens for the spring. Byron Scott has our story.
So we let it grow up.
At International High School at Largo, Kevin Alsop continues his mission of teaching young people about growing food.
This radish that's in here is help breaking up the soil.
Alsop leads the school's community garden program, which is in its third year. This was July of 2021, when everything was in bloom. And this is now. On this day, they are putting 2 beds to rest for the winter, all of it under the watchful eyes of a grasshopper.
So what we're going to do is add what we call green manure to a bed that we've already put to rest. And what that's going to do is going to help nutrify the bed and prepare it for upcoming spring. So we good?
And they're also planting a crop that won't be ready until next July.
This particular garlic is called music, and it's a hard neck garlic. You know, it's good for overwinter. And we're going to take this green manure.
For the students, it's an opportunity to learn about something they may not have been exposed to.
What kind of things have you grown? Kind of stuff, kind of thing I've grown. Here I help to grow this passion fruit. We had like a very big sunflower right here. It was a very big sunflower. We grew tomatoes, which I ate a lot. We had beans, a lot of varieties. I didn't know that we had green, red beans until I grew them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff we grew.
For Alsop,
Well, I have to grow. It's in my DNA. I have to teach, so it's in my DNA. So it just allows me to be me and to grow also, to produce food, to show people how to be more self-sufficient and self-sustainable. And just to be around tremendous young people is a blessing for me.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
For more information on home gardening and some tips, you can email Alsop at info@nemusgardens.com. A special Sky Watchers event takes place overnight. From coast to coast, a total lunar eclipse will be visible early Tuesday morning between 2 and 5 a.m. That's when the path of the moon's orbit takes it into the Earth's shadow, shielding it from the sun. Lunar eclipses occur about every 6 months, but if you miss this one, the next total lunar eclipse won't be visible across the U.S. until 2025.
What will be happening tomorrow is that the sun and the earth and the moon will all perfectly line up so that the moon will pass through the earth's shadow. So the earth will actually block out all of the light from the sun that normally bounces off the moon and makes the moon bright. And so the moon will go darker over the course of several hours. So for us on the East Coast, it's about 5 in the morning. That will be some of the darkest that the moon will get. And hopefully we can even see it turn a bit rosy red during the deepest part of the eclipse. And if you've ever seen a sunrise or a sunset, you know that as the sun gets lower in the sky and passes through more air, it looks more orangish and more reddish. It's actually that same effect. So what's going on is that the sunlight is going through the Earth's atmosphere, and a little bit of that is getting through to the moon. And so the red light gets to the moon, bounces back, and we see it.
For more information on the eclipse, that is, log on to nasa.gov. Later this week, we'll tell you about NASA's upcoming launch to return to the moon. Police continue to investigate that deadly double shooting at a giant grocery store. It happened last Friday morning, just before 10:30. Killed were 43-year-old security guard Willie Tate of Virginia and 20-year-old Zyla Akita of District Heights. Investigators say the security guard tried to stop Akita from stealing items from the store when she pulled a gun from her backpack and shot him. Tate returned fire, striking Akita. Both were pronounced dead. Police are asking anyone who might have relevant information to contact 301-516-2512. Prince George's police are investigating an early morning stabbing in Langley Park. It happened just before 1 o'clock Sunday on the 8100 block of 15th Avenue. That's where police found 32-year-old Falindo Velasquez Canto of Langley Park suffering from a serious stab wound. He was taken to a local hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Anyone who may have information is asked to contact police. And coming up later on the news, a losing weekend for Washington sports teams. We'll hear from Commanders head coach Ron Rivera next. Stay with us.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
The Washington Commanders went up against the Minnesota Vikings yesterday, but weren't able to come out on top in a close game. Coming off of 3 straight wins, the Commanders were looking to make a statement against one of the best teams in the NFC, but some mistakes on the offensive and defensive side of the ball caused the team to fall short, 20-17. Coach Ron Rivera spoke after the game about the things the team needs to correct in order to take it to the next step.
I really believe we had a chance to win this football game based on the things that we were doing, and we had a chance to do. We could have done. We missed some opportunities. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. Early in the first quarter, we had 2 third downs. We should have gotten off the field as defense was concerned. I mean, defense played great, but we started that first drive. They came out and we missed opportunities to get off the field. I mean, those are the little things that keep us from taking the next big step, and those things that we got to get corrected, and we got to make sure we're all on the same page and we're doing what we need to do to give us that chance to be successful.
All right, the Commanders face off against the Philadelphia Eagles next Monday night. The Washington Wizards were on the court against the Memphis Grizzlies last night, but couldn't pull off a win in a 103-97 loss. It is the second consecutive loss for Washington. Even though the team fell short, head coach Wes Unseld Jr. says he's proud of the team's effort.
I'm proud of the effort, and I know there's no moral victories. It is what it is. We have to find a way to come away with it. But, we did some good things defensively. This we know going in, it's a high-powered offense. They lead the league in scoring, and we held them pretty good. 103 points, 43% from the field, and they made some timely plays. But overall, I thought it was positive.
The Wizards go up against the Charlotte Hornets tonight at 7 o'clock. CTV's new Healthy Eating and Living segment is coming to you again this week. Tomorrow, we're going vegan, or vegetarian, should I say, with healthy coach Shanae Hayes.
Yes, you can see the steam kind of coming up. And so, yes, I'm just going to add a little bit of water. Don't need a lot, and I have it right here. And then this dish is really simple and easy to make. I call it kind of like dump and go. Because I'm just going to put the rest of these ingredients in there, and then it's going to cook. Bring it up to a boil, and it's going to cook for about 25 to 30 minutes.
The full What's for Dinner segment airs tomorrow at 4:30. You can also see all episodes on your YouTube channel, PGCTV online. Let's check now on our weather forecast. Tonight, mostly clear with lows in the 40s. Tuesday, mostly sunny with highs around 59 degrees. Wednesday, sunny with highs again in the 50s. Thursday, partly sunny and warmer, highs around 67 degrees. That wraps up our CTV News update. I'm Taylor Thomas. Good night.